On March 11th, I made a video on all 15 National League prospects that were scheduled to come up in 2019. And I saw how they were doing in spring training at the time and wondering if they would make their big league club in their estimated year, which was this year. I got the list of prospects from MLB.com and picked each team's top prospect that were to come up at some point this year. Let's break down how I did in my predictions. Prospect I want to highlight is Braves pitcher Mike Soroka. In 2018, he had a 2.0 ERA in his 5 games in AAA, and he made his major league debut going 2-1 before inflammation in June caused him to shut it down for the rest of the year. Do I think he'll break camp with the team this year? Maybe. He's having a great spring, and if the inflammation is down, he will definitely break camp with the team. Well, big swing and a miss by me. Soroka not only broke camp for the Braves, he had 15 starts in the first half, recording a record of 9-1 and throwing 89 1/3 innings pitched. The inflammation in his arm seemed to go down, and he is helping the Braves in their battle for the title of National League East champions. The next NL East prospect I want to highlight is Miami Marlins pitcher Nick Neidert. In 2018 in AA, he went 12-7 with a 3.24 ERA in 26 games. Now, do I think that's going to cross over into major league wins? Not at first. I don't think he'll break camp with the team. Okay, I seem to bounce back with this prediction. Neidert has a 1-2 record with the Marlins AAA club. He is currently on the 7-day injured list and is looking to be more of a September call-up if he gets the call at all this year. Neidert is still pitching pretty well for AAA, but he's not ready to make the jump to the Fish. Is New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso. In 2018, in 67 games, Alonso hit .260 with 78 strikeouts but 21 home runs. He started the year in AA where he hit .314. Now, do I think Alonso will make the team? Highly unlikely. They have first baseman Dominic Smith. Oh, Lordy, what was I thinking having Smith over Alonso? As you can guess, I was wrong, and I was big time wrong. But I'm actually happy that I was. Alonso is hitting .280 with 29 home runs for the Mets and is in the home run derby this year. However, this is the Mets, and they have not been great. As a baseball fan, I am hoping and I'm pleading with the Mets not to screw up Alonso for good. Pretty please for me. Go on to Philadelphia in their top prospect, Adam Haseley. In AA last year, in 39 games, he hit .316 with only 19 strikeouts and 6 home runs. Will that transition into a major league spot for him? Not with the signing of Andrew McCutchen and Bryce Harper, along with Rhys Hoskins. He'll be in AAA for a long time, but I think he'll continue to hit well and flourish in Lehigh Valley. Okay, yeah, the outfield for the Phillies was always going to see who the odd man out was, and it was Adam Haseley. Unfortunately, Kutch got hurt with a torn ACL, and they did select his contract, and he did get 7 at-bats for the Phillies before he went down with a groin injury. He is now in AAA Lehigh Valley battling for the Iron Pigs. Speaking of the signing of Bryce Harper, let's move on to his former team, the Washington Nationals, and their top prospect, outfielder Victor Robles. In spring training right now, he is hitting .333, and last year he hit .288 with 18 strikeouts and 3 home runs. Do I think he'll continue this success in spring training come opening day? Absolutely, I think he will. Well, it really is no surprise that Victor Robles made the big league club. And this year, so far, he's been meh. Yeah, he's hitting .242. Yeah, he has 12 home runs. But when he was with the team, he was tearing the cover off the ball in the spring and his limited time last year with the Nationals. So this year, it just seems meh. But then again, so have the Nationals. And let's start in Arizona and their star pitcher, Jon Duplantier. In 2018 in AA, Jon Duplantier had a 2.69 ERA with 68 strikeouts. Now, do I think he'll make the major league team? I don't think so this year, unless he starts in AAA.
Well, John Duplantier did start the year in AAA like I predicted, but he was quickly called up in May. He did pitch 25 innings and he had 24 strikeouts, but he has been on the IL since June 12th with inflammation and has been assigned to the extended spring training in the Arizona League.
Is Colorado Rockies infielder and third overall pick in the 2015 amateur draft, infielder Brendan Rodgers. In 2018, he had .275 with 17 home runs, but 76 strikeouts in AA, earning him a promotion to AAA Albuquerque, where he only hit .232, but in 19 games. He was a non-roster invitee in the last couple of spring trainings, so does that mean that he'll transition into the big league club now that DJ LeMahieu is gone? Not likely. The Rockies signed infielder Daniel Murphy to a 2-year contract, but that doesn't mean that Rodgers won't be getting playing time. The Rockies have shown that they are no rush to bring Rodgers up to the big league club, and he has been hitting in the minor leagues his entire career. If he keeps that up this year in AAA Albuquerque, it will force the Rockies to move him into the major league club.
While Rodgers was on the spring training roster, he started the year in AAA. What I did say, though, is he mashed the ball in AAA. He hit .350, and he did force the front office of the Rockies to call him up. The bad thing with forcing the Rockies' hand was he wasn't playing every day and hitting only .224 at Coors Field. He is currently on the IL right now with a right shoulder impingement.
The Los Angeles Dodgers and their top prospect, outfielder Alex Verdugo. In 2018 in AAA Oklahoma City, Verdugo hit .329 with 47 strikeouts, but he also took his walks with netting 34 base on balls. Do I think he'll transition into the major leagues this year? Yeah, probably. He's having a decent spring, and with the Dodgers moving Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig out of the outfield to make room for possibly landing Bryce Harper, which they didn't, it leaves a hole in the Dodgers outfield that Alex Verdugo could possibly fill.
Well, I guess I was kind of right. He just continued to hit and hasn't stopped hitting this year so far. He's hitting .303 at the break, and he has been a big part of the Dodgers completely owning the National League West and most of the National League this entire year. Congratulations, Alex Verdugo.
Is Fernando Tatis Jr. In 2018, in AA, he hit .286, but he struck out 109 times by hitting 16 home runs. Do I think he'll translate into the major leagues? Not this year. Not with San Diego signing Manny Machado at shortstop, and with his high strikeout rate right now, I don't think Tatis will make it into San Diego. I see him at most being in AAA.
Oh, holy crap, was I wrong. Not only did Machado go over to third base again and not play shortstop like I predicted, Tatis has been crushing the ball for the Friars, hitting .327. My only concern for the young player is the fact that he does have 67 Ks in the first half of the year, but boy, oh boy, is this kid fun to watch, and the future looks bright for San Diego.
Sean Anderson. Last year, he pitched 8 games in AAA, going 2-2 with a 4.18 ERA, but striking out 34 people and only issuing 11 walks. Is he going to make it in the league this year? Very highly unlikely, unless the Cueto injury is a lot more serious than the Giants are letting on. But with people like Madison Bumgarner, Jeff Samardzija, and them signing Drew Pomeranz this year, it's going to be very hard for Sean Anderson to make it into the San Francisco Giants.
Well, I was kind of right. I was right about the Cueto injury being a lot more serious than what I was reading earlier on in the year. Anderson was called up from AAA on May 15th, and he's been okay. He has a record of 3-2 with a .423 ERA and 32 strikeouts in 10 games with the Giants. The Giants are just in last place of the National League West with a record of 41-48, unfortunately for Anderson.
And let's start with the St. Louis Cardinals and their star prospect, Alex Reyes. In 2018, Alex Reyes struck out 13 people in 7 innings pitched in AAA, And he also got promoted to the big league club, only pitching 4 innings but netting 2 strikeouts. What does that mean for Alex Reyes and the St. Louis Cardinals moving into the future in 2019? I think Reyes will be a part of the Cardinals breaking camp. I don't know if he'll be in the rotation or if he'll come out of the bullpen.
Well, he was with the Cardinals at some point. He has stats for the 2019 year. He has a record of 0-1 with a 15 ERA. Unfortunately, he has also been injury-ridden this season and has been on IL after IL for a good part of the year. So I always knew Alex Reyes was going to be a toss-up on if he would make it to the club or not. It's just really hard, and it's unfortunate that he's been riddled with injury this year.
It's the Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Mitch Keller. Last year, Keller made it all the way up to the AAA affiliate Indianapolis Indians, where he started in 10 games, going 3-2 with a 4.82 ERA, but he struck out 57 batters and only walked 22. So what does this mean going forward for him? It's really hard to tell in my opinion, because that high ERA could just be from lack of starts, or it could be that he gave up a lot of runs, but the Indians scored a lot of runs for him. But that 57 strikeouts and the 22 walks, I think, is going to be pivotal as he continues in spring training for the Pirates. I don't think he'll break camp with the team. I think he'll go down to AAA Indianapolis, where he'll spend most of the year.
Well, Keller did do some pitching for the Buccos this year. He has an 0-1 record with a 10.50 ERA. However, there is a bright spot for Pirates fans. He is 6-3 with a 3.32 ERA pitching for the AAA affiliate, the Indianapolis Indians. If he can continue to control his pitches, he will be a big asset for the Pirates as they keep, and if the Pirates can keep in the thick of this weird National Central race.
To the National League Central champion Milwaukee Brewers and their second baseman, Keston Hiura. In 2018 in AA, Hiura hit .276 and 6 home runs, but he struck out 56 times, but stole 11 bases. What does this mean for Hiura going forward in 2019 for the Brewers? I don't think he'll make the big league club, only because after the Brewers traded for Mike Moustakas, Travis Shaw moved over to second base, filling that need. So Hiura might start in AA again, or he'll be moved up to AAA, but I don't think he'll be in Milwaukee in 2019 at all.
Well, I was kind of right. He's been up and down a few times this year already. He is currently with the Major League club, the Brewers, hitting .257 and 7 home runs. The Brewers are really just looking to heat up again after the break to maintain their National League Central crown that they currently own.
The Cincinnati Reds and their top prospect, utility man Nick Senzel. In AAA last year, Senzel hit .310 with only 39 strikeouts and 6 home runs. Now, do I think that will mean he'll be in Cincinnati this year? No. With the Reds trading for Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig in the outfield, and that infield is already pretty much set, I think that Senzel, unfortunately, is going to have to stay in Louisville for this year.
In hindsight, I should have seen Matt Kemp flaming out in Cincinnati. Senzel has been a solid piece for the Reds outfield since being called up. He's currently hitting .267 with 8 home runs and 27 RBIs for them in the first half of the season. And again, the Reds are still, even though they're in last place, they're still in the thick of this really weird National League Central.
Is Adbert Alzolay, pitcher for the Cubs. In 2018, he had a .476 ERA, but he only pitched in 8 games all year round because of an injury that sidelined him for most of the year. Do I think Adbert Alzolay will make the team this year? No, mostly because I think Adbert Alzolay is the future starter for the Chicago Cubs, and right now that rotation is set.
When Kyle Hendricks had to miss a few starts, Alzolay was the man they tapped. He pitched well against the Mets and the Braves, and in those 2 appearances, combined for 8 2/3 innings pitched with a 2.08 ERA and 9 strikeouts. And that was his 2 appearances in June. For his first road start in July, he just absolutely got shelled, going only 2 2/3, giving up 7 earned runs to the Pirates and PNC. and he has been optioned back down to AAA after Hendricks has been reactivated from the injured list.
2019, Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner was drafted 24th overall in last June's draft out of Stanford University, but he's already proven that he can hit because he hit .337 in Arizona Fall League this past fall. And currently in spring training, he's hitting .833 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Do I think Nico Hoerner is going to make the team in 2019? Absolutely, I think Nico Hoerner is going to make it in 2019, mostly because Addison Russell has to sit out the first 40 games because he violated MLB's domestic violence policy.
I said it in the video, and I'll say it again. When I said that Nico Hoerner was going to be called up this year, that was a joke. But the Cubs have been struggling to replace Ben Zobrist while he deals with his family issues. And Hoerner has been hitting for Tennessee. But he did spend some significant time on the injured list, so maybe we'll see him closer to 2020. But I also want to say this to Ben Zobrist and his family. Seriously, Ben. Continue to be with them for as long as you need to. But know that us as Cubs fans miss you every day, and we are praying for you. Stay strong, my man. Well, for my first year on this channel doing anything of this type of thing, and for me only being a casual follower of other teams' prospect, not the Cubs or the Royals, I think I did okay. I missed bad, and I mean bad, on a few. But overall, I was happy that my predictions were where they fell. I want to wish everybody a happy All-Star break. Enjoy it, and here's to another fun and exciting second half of the season.